in this tutorial we're going to look at adding and subtracting surds. For this you must be able to simplify surds, so if you're not confident with simplifying surds I would go back to that video first and practice that so that you can access this material. Alright, so if we have two surds that we need to add together, we can't add together if they're different numbers here. So a square root of 12 you cannot add to the square root of 27. You can only add them if it's the same number under the root. We can, however, simplify both of these, and if we can simplify them both to have the same number under the root, we can then add them together. So square root of 12, we can simplify that. It's the square root of 4 times the square root of 3. If you're not sure about simplifying, you're looking for two factors, one of them being a square number. Plus 27 we can split into root 9 times root 3. So just writing that out. Square root of 4 we know is 2, so we write 2. Root 3 we can't simplify. Plus square root of 9 is 3, and then we've got root 3. Now we've actually got 2 root 3 plus 3 root 3, which we can add together. 2 root 3s plus 3 root 3s would give you 5 root 3. And so that's the basic strategy you use to add or subtract surds. So I'm going to look at another one now. So this one is the square root of 32 minus the square root of 8. So right now, different numbers under the roots, we cannot subtract these as they are. Square root of 32, two numbers that go into 32, where one is a square number. Again, we're looking for the highest one, so we are going to put down square root of 16, square root of 2, minus 8 can be split into square root of 4 and square root of 2. So the square root of 16 is 4, so that becomes 4 root 2, minus square root of 4 is 2, and so square root 2. We now have 4 root 2 minus 2 root 2, and so we have 2 root 2 as our final answer there. Right, let's look at some more. I have square root of 24 plus square root of 54. So two numbers that go into 24 with one being a square number. We've got 4 times 6. So just be sure there's lots of factors of 24. You have to have one where one of the square numbers it is a square number. So we know what the square root of 4 is. You couldn't use, for example, 3 and 8 because neither of them are square numbers. Plus 54, we could split that into square root of 9 times the square root of 6. So it's looking good because we've got a root 6 in both of our simplified versions there. Square root of 4 is 2, so we've got 2 root 6. Square root of 9 is 3, so we have 3. And so we have 2 root 6 plus 3 root 6, which gives us 5 root 6. Right, I'm going to look at a few more. I'm going to look at square root of 72 minus the square root of 50. So square root of 72, thinking of two factors which go into 72 where one of them is a square number. There's a couple of options here, but you're looking for the highest one. So I know that 36 times 2 is 72. So I'm going to do square root of 36, square root of 2. If you'd chosen 9 and 8, you could have then simplified the 8 further, and you would eventually get to the same answer. Square root of 50, I know that that would be the square root of 25 times the square root of 2. And now we've got a square root of 2 in both, so it's looking good. Square root of 36 is 6, so we've got 6 root 2 minus square root of 25 is 5, so we have 5 root 2. Right, I'm going to do one more, and I'm going to do square root of 18 plus 2 root 8 minus 3 root 2. So we've got a few different terms here, but hopefully we're going to get to them all having the same root. Square root of 18 I can break into square root of 9, square root of 2. 9 times 2 is 18. 2 root 8, I can simplify that root 8 as well, so plus 2 square root of 8 we can do square root of 4, square root of 2. And minus 3 root 2 has only got a root 2 there, so actually that cannot be simplified, so we've got 3 root 2. This is looking good because we've got a root 2 in each one. So square root of 9 is 3, so we've got 3 root 2. Plus we've got 2 times the square root of 4, which is 2, times square root of 2, minus 3 root 2. So just tidying that one up in the middle. 3 root 2 plus 4 root 2 minus 3 root 2. So 3 root 2 plus 4 root 2 is 7 root 2. Minus 3 root 2, you end up back at 4 root 2. And that's you ready to add and subtract surds.